Greetings, good day to all. I bring you greetings, salutations, in peace, in love, in brotherhood, and sisterhood. So today I'm back with you to deliver yet another word. And today's topic, as all of the other topics to date, this one today is very real and very pertinent. And today's topic is entitled, "The Plight of the Poor Must Not Be Ignored." Now, this is a topic I am sure that you, as well as myself, many of us can relate to. So as I bring this message to you about the plight of the poor, it is not just from a theoretical or statistical point of view. Having myself experienced firsthand, as I'm sure many of you did, what poverty is all about, it is not a place that we will set out to be. But as we all know, circumstances in life sometimes place us in those situations. We all know, those of us who have experienced that reality, that hunger is no joke. Many of us will know that breakfast, lunch, and dinner was sugar water. But we must say thank God for mangoes being born in the Caribbean that will have mitigated against the pangs of hunger. Many of us grew up in situations lacking the basic amenities: electricity, running water, inside toilet facilities, and living in dilapidated conditions. Many of us know about eating some days, and other days back to the routine of sugar water for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We are experiencing a global pandemic of COVID-19, and what COVID-19 has done is to exacerbate the poverty lines in the world. As we all know, whether regionally or globally, many citizens have been plunged on the breadline. According to the ILO, in a report last year, as many as 26 million citizens in the Caribbean and Latin America are now out of jobs. Locally, we are hearing that as many as 600 businesses in Trinidad and Tobago have closed, and some of them permanently. We all know about people who we consider to be the working poor, meaning living from paycheck to paycheck, and once there is no more paycheck, in quick time, in quick order, below the poverty line. So when we look at some statistics, even before COVID-19, we can only imagine now how severe the situation is. According to José de Castro, a Brazilian, the author of the book, The Geopolitics of Hunger, as many as 2/3 of the world's population live in a permanent state of hunger. According to the World Bank, in a report in 2018, we have as many as half of the world's citizens living on less than $5.50 US per day in the upper and middle income countries of the world, and less than $3.20 US per day in the lower middle income countries of the world. According to Ruth Alexander, in a BBC report, a child dies every 15 seconds. Now mind you, these statistics were before COVID-19. And And as we all know, COVID-19 has taken away millions of lives all over the world. It has exacerbated poverty, and the situation certainly will be far more extreme. If I should cite another bit of information from the Castro's book, and this bit of information is not recent, but it has very serious significance when we look at what the reality is now. In 1946, according to the Castro in that book, a U.S. Secretary of Agriculture reported that many will have to die. And he drew the analogy of a family having a litter of puppies and having to decide which ones to drop. That was 75 years ago. And our situation today with a world population of about 7 billion, and so many, as I cited before, as much as half of the world's population living, on a few dollars per day, less than a few dollars per day, we know that poverty ain't no joke. So each and every one of us who are in a better position, as I said in the previous broadcast, we have a responsibility to do what we can do. Many of us may not be wealthy, but the little we can do certainly will go a long way. And as I'm making this point, there was a very noble gesture done by a grocery owner in La Brea, Iran's bakery, where a resident suggested to her that a community shelf should be set up for people in need. And she gave it a try. She herself contributes to the shelf, other residents contribute, and that community shelf, people are flowing into Aaron's grocery in La Brea on a regular basis to pick up at least 5 items that they need. And according to her, the lines are very long. And that has been the case throughout Trinidad and Tobago. There's another local NGO, Siwa. They have been doing human work in terms of distributing food hampers, etc. But as we all know, to really address poverty, it just cannot be a one-off situation. It just cannot be limited to a good charitable deed. Many wealthy individuals, many wealthy corporations, they have what is called corporate social responsibility, where they contribute to community causes. But we need something far more significant than mere corporate social responsibility. I'm saying that if the wealthy individuals in the world, and the statistics suggest that whether we look at it in Trinidad, we have heard about the 1%, we have heard about in the US 5% of the population holding most of the wealth, we have heard in other cases 10% of the world's population being the wealthiest. Whether it's 1, 5 or 10%, the world's wealth is concentrated in the hands of a few. And if those few persons can contribute at least 1% of their annual earnings to a developmental fund, to set up projects, to train people, to skill them so that they become employable, to give them business skills so they can set up their own businesses, and to address areas of poverty, I am saying that can go a very long way. And the contribution will not only be financial. Of course, they can bring their technological know-how, the intellectual capacity through their employees, etc., to help in this project. So it brings us to the point in terms of the strain that people are experiencing, what may be an appropriate model. And being involved in the cooperative movement, I think that model has done well. It has probably not done as well as it can do, but many citizens in the Caribbean can attest to the fact that being a member of a financial cooperative company called a credit union, they have been able to achieve most of the basic necessities of life. And given the principles of the cooperative movement, where the very member of the cooperative is also an owner of the cooperative. The very members are the ones who are given the responsibility through the various committees to decide how the financial cooperative or non-financial cooperative should operate. Given the fact that one of the principles is concern for the community, the question of poverty is definitely an area of concern that cooperatives and all organizations must focus on. Given the fact that the surplus made in cooperatives are distributed among its members, given the fact that no one member can own more than 1/5 of the share capital, given the fact that when we look at the Mondragon Corporation in Spain that started off in a recession and today is ranked as one of the largest business organizations in Spain, employing over 85,000 employees globally, we can see the potential of this movement. So, government buy-in and people recognizing that the very basic principle of the pooling of resources. The pooling of the resources, and from the pool, everyone benefits. And that's the basic principle upon which a credit union will operate. So as you buy your shares, you contribute to the pool. As you get your loan and you pay the loan, you keep the pool moving, and of course, it will be supplemented by other investments that the credit union may make. So this approach, I think, now is the time where it can really go full scale in terms of realizing its potential. When we look at cooperative history in the literature, they normally cite England and the Rochdale as a starting point. But if we look at Richard Barton's book on socionomics, we will know that the cooperative model was used in ancient Africa for centuries, where they pool all forms of resources, financial and non-financial, to ensure that the needs of residents and the needs of communities were satisfied. And now is the time more than ever where this model must be given the support. All cooperators must, get within themselves that energy, get within themselves that motivation, convincing those in authority, and also being enterprising in making this model fulfill its true potential. I can also look at a very novel approach that was used by the founder of the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. The founder of that bank, Mr. Muhammad Yunus, a man who has become well known around the world, who has received as many as 50 doctorates from various universities around the world, and who also won the Nobel Peace Prize some years back. Now his basic idea in that he described himself as a businessman involved in the activity of eradicating poverty. So I'm saying to all business people out there, whether they are social entrepreneurs or the normal type of entrepreneur or any other type of business person, that is certainly now is an ideal time, if you have not done so before, to get involved in the business of eradicating poverty. So Muhammad Yunus and the Grameen Bank is now world famous, where women in Bangladesh and places like Sri Lanka who would not have qualified for financial assistance through the normal financial assistance system were given financial training, were given loans to set up businesses, and that model has proven to be a tremendous success. In other words, do not underestimate the capacity that lies within people at whatever level they may be. All that is required is providing support, an enabling environment, and the necessary motivation. So this is why I'm saying that those who are wealthy, we cannot continue to exist where wealth is coexisting with so much poverty. We have a number of countries that have been blessed with oil wealth, and unfortunately, many of those countries suffered from what is called the resource curse, where after substantial billions of dollars flow through their coffers, the levels of poverty is still too astounding to really comprehend. We can think of countries where there are billionaires coexisting with people in extreme poverty, whether it be Nigeria, whether it be Venezuela, Equatorial Guinea, and in our own circumstance in Trinidad, well, I'm not too sure about the billionaires, but certainly millionaires coexist with a lot of persons who are in extreme poverty. And if people were doubting it, because of the COVID-19 circumstances, we are seeing the reality where people are experiencing hunger in a real way. And any point of any location where there's a food distribution, the lines are long and winding. So people are under the pump, but we as human beings, inbuilt in us is that capacity to survive, and we cannot just sit by and not do what we're supposed to do. There's a responsibility, a God-ordained responsibility in all of us who are in a better position to address this question of poverty in every possible way, at the micro level and at the macro level. So I'm saying, those people who are doing well, who are making a lot of money, we cannot just be satisfied that our own needs have been met and we are just wanting and wanting, and there are so many people who are feeling the pangs of poverty, the pangs of hunger. I'm saying it is important that we recognize at this juncture in the world's development, we have a golden opportunity to make a difference that has never been made before in really coming to the fore, drawing inspiration from the cooperative model, drawing inspiration from the Grameen Bank, and putting our collective resources together, putting the collective genius to work, as the ancient Egyptians said, tapping into the collective genius, cooperating, motivating, and creating an exciting situation in terms of really addressing poverty in a way never addressed before. So, I am saying, when there are those with plenty, we cannot afford to allow poverty to continue to rear its head as it has done for so long in the world's history. Now is the time, let us take a stand, make a contribution, and ensure that less people are experiencing the ravages of poverty. So once again, I thank you. I am sure you will have received the message, and that being the case, I ask you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, and as usual, I am always available for one-on-one sessions. Feel free and call me at 1-868-778-5141, 1-868-779-2544, or email me at leadershipwithadifference@gmail.com. And I leave you with the words of the mighty shadow: poverty is hell, but we can end up in heaven if we all work together. Take care, and you will see me in short order for another message. Thank you very much, and bye.